Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm going to ask you one more small little thing. Please click below where it says subscribe and follow me on this journey. What I'm trying to do as I'm building my business myself is impart some of the lessons I'm learning along the way so that others following in similar footsteps can learn at my expense and hopefully speed up their entrepreneurial journey. Anyway, with that in mind, something came up at a talk I was at earlier this week. A girl called Sophie Delgado organizes these after work talks and she invited me in to speak. It's one of these brilliant speaking occasions where there's no notes, no slides. It's really, really personal and it's full of one-on-one questions. So anybody watching on can get actual personal value from. Anyway, I love things like that, kind of similar to these videos. You'll notice I don't cut them. I think it's so much nicer when there's a flow and you kind of never know what's going to come out, and it makes things much more natural and much more personal. Anyway, something kind of came up to me. It was a really defining lesson that I learned when I was younger and I wanted to share it. Basically, when I was about 15 or 16, I was like a D, but more normally an E student in school. And anyway, I was sitting in the middle of English class and my teacher took me aside afterwards, a guy called Brendan Shelby, lovely guy, and he challenged me. He said, look, you were sitting in the middle of our class and it was so obvious you didn't understand certain things. Why weren't you asking questions? He was like, Jamie, you can ask questions. Do it. It's so important. Anyway, the next day I went in and I suppose I kind of took a bit of motivation from that, or it was a bit of a challenge, and I asked a question when I didn't understand and then I asked another, and hell, by the end of that class I probably asked about 15 questions. Anyway, a weird thing happened, and it's only now when I look back that I can see it really, really clearly that within a couple of months I had gone from being a D and mostly E student to being a B and sometimes an A student. It's I suppose when I took that time out, whenever I didn't understand something, to actually understand it and give myself an opportunity to overcome that obstacle. It's something that so many people don't do enough of. When they don't understand something, they're too ashamed or too embarrassed to put up their hand or stop a conversation and say, actually, what do you mean by that? But it's so important. You have to give yourself an opportunity to learn and to overcome, as I said previously, whatever obstacle it is that's in front of you. So anyway, that's a simple lesson, but it's amazing how defining that's been for me as I moved forward in whatever it was, whether it was classes or lectures or whether it's real life business. It's never, I think, an embarrassing thing to stop and say, actually, what do you mean by that? Or what exactly is this? And I actually think it's admirable because oftentimes when you ask that question, others around you are too embarrassed to ask it and they appreciate you all the more. Anyway, ask questions.